lovely dishers. It is time to dish with D. I am Denise. Welcome to my channel. If you are new here and you haven't yet hit that subscribe button, I would highly recommend you hit that subscribe button if you're looking for weight loss, support, great recipes, and friendship. And if you're a returning subscriber, welcome back, peeps. So thank you for clicking on this video and making yourself a priority. I don't normally film today, but I had a thought this morning and I thought I wanted to put it on film before I forgot. Because yeah, I forget things. Sleep apnea brain, what could I say? But I was talking about one of my friends, a channel called Age is Just a Number by Barbara Jean. She does fashion and styling tips for the woman, the mature woman. So I was thinking about age is just a number. And I thought to myself, weight is just a number. And I want to reiterate that to you. Weight is just a number. It's a hard number, but it's just a number. I really don't want to see my friends, you guys, defining yourself about how much you lose, how much you weigh, and what size you are. I think a lot of us put emphasis on that, and I think could deter you from your long-term goals. And I believe, I always speak for myself, but my long-term goal wasn't all that. My long-term goal was health, getting at a better, healthy mindset, body frame. Yeah, I mean, people would say, what is the ideal weight? What is the ideal body frame? What is the ideal size? And you know what? It changes over the years because you know what? Life changes over the years. Your age changes over the years. I think the older you are, the less emphasis gets put on size and weight. Because I mean, if you take off 100 pounds, you're 100 pounds lighter. Yeah, you might not be a size 10. You might still be a size 15, 16. But you are much more healthier being 100 pounds down than you are being 100 pounds heavier. When I started my journey, it was all about me getting under 200 pounds. That was always my goal. It was never to be a size anything or at a certain weight. It was just getting under 200 pounds. I've been heavy my whole life. So for me, to be under 200 was my goal. But when I stopped worrying about this, that, and the other, and just concentrate on eating good and eating well and enjoying my journey, it continued and it continued. When I got down to 185, I thought, well, 185, I could be 175. So I kept on it and chipped away and chipped away. Now, when I started my YouTube channel, I do believe, don't quote me on this one, it was back in February of 2019, I think I started it. And I believe I was 30 pounds from goal. So it was probably around that area. And I decided, what will help me lose this extra weight? And again, I knew that I would never be the weight that what WW wanted me to be, or what society says I should be. Oh, you're this height, you should weigh that. Or you need to lose a little more. You're not at the right body frame. You're not the right type. And I thought to myself, did they see me before? Because, oh my gosh, I felt so much lighter. I would have loved to have stayed at, honestly, 185. I felt good at 185, 180, 185. But I knew I had to do for WW what WW required you to be. It needed you to be at the BMI chart, and this is what, for your height, this is what, and honestly, they don't take age into consideration because I think I'd be the same weight whether I was 20, 50, or 60. Which I think this is a little unrealistic for some people, not everybody. I mean, like I said, I've been heavy since I was 11 when I hit puberty, things blossomed and never looked back. So I say this a lot, that I am smaller now than I was in high school. So for me to be something lower than what I am now is totally unrealistic. It totally is. I mean, I know I can get back to the goal, but most people would still think that goal is high. Like, oh my God, you want to weigh 150? Like that's actually 156 is my goal. You want to weigh that? That's still fat. I hate the F word. I do. And to you might think, or to her, whoever says it might think that that's fat, but did they see me at 270? If they think 150 is fat, what would they think of me at 270? And then I realized, well, look who's saying something like that. Somebody's never had a weight issue, or never a significant weight issue. I mean, there's people out there that have to lose like 10 pounds and think it's 100. And that's their mindset. I understand that. But don't sit there and try to understand somebody that's 100 and some pounds overweight, what their life is like. Some of us, it's not about just keep eating. Sometimes we eat for a reason. There's just something there that it causes us to eat. Good or bad, left or right or wrong, it is the truth. People eat for some reason. It's usually to hide something or to soothe something in your life. I do consider myself a food addict. I do. I could see it. When I go for something, it's like, and if I don't catch myself, I could keep going. That's why a lot of times I'll say to one of the boys, I'm going to have a piece of this. And I announce it out loud, then I'm not going to go back for it because I've already announced it. So I keep myself accountable that way. If I say things out loud and I hear it back, for me, it's very auditory. That's why the vlogs help me. Doing this helps me because I'm saying it out loud and I'm hearing it. So even my weight, like I never thought my weight was that bad. At 270, I didn't think I was that bad. I know. A little unrealistic of me, I know, but I never felt that I was that big. I think when you just gain weight over time and you just grow with it, you don't feel as big as you are. I know when I would look in the mirror, I would never see myself that big, but mirrors somehow must lie, or my eyes are what lies. But when the picture would come in, I'd be like, ooh, who's that? You. What's that? Your hip. So I couldn't lie. Picture wouldn't lie, but the mirror would. I remember leaving the house that day thinking, oh, I look pretty cute. You know, I don't look bad. And I would lie on the DMV. I would lie on my driver's license. What do you weigh? 185. I was like, at that time, probably 220, 225. Like, I'm thinking they'll never notice the difference. But she's 185. I don't know about that. But I just want you to think and stop focusing on the number on the scale. The fact I'm not losing enough. I'm losing, you know. It's not always about what we lose. It's about what we're learning about ourselves, what we're learning about food, and you know, and how to incorporate things. Rome wasn't built in a day. It took me close to 3 years to get to goal. It did. And I tell it to everybody, like, and that sounds like, oh my God, 3 years? But what else are you doing for the next 3 years? You're living your life. So I feel that to stop focusing on a number, I mean, even getting weight every week is good and bad. Like, I would love not to get weight every week, but I'm afraid if I don't, then I will definitely be like, well, I got till next week. I could work on it next week. I do not get weighed every day. I get weighed once a week. That's big for me because back in the day, I was an everyday wearer. When I first started, every day. Not anymore. I honestly do not get on the scale till Saturday. And I'm really proud of that. And let me tell you something, it takes the pressure off. I do my journey. You know, and the scale's going to say what the scale's going to say. And that's another good reason not to get on it every day, because if it's going down, you're kind of like, okay, it's going down. I'm good. I can have a little extra for dinner. Have what you want. Don't worry about what the scale says. Eat what you need to eat, within reason, of course. I always try to emphasize within reason, because if you want it bad enough, you're going to find a way to get it. So find a way to fit a smaller portion of it in. Is it easy? No. Has this journey been easy? Absolutely not. From day one, it's never been easy. You have never, ever heard me utter those words, it's easy, because it's not. But I applaud you for making yourself a priority. That's why I say that now, because you are making yourself a priority when you tune into somebody's weight loss chat, when you come and you seek help. You want help. You want to do better. There are some days where you just don't. You know, be like, oh, why did I eat that? Who knows why you ate it? At this point, it doesn't matter why you ate it. You just have to try to learn from why you ate it, and maybe kind of move on and say, you know what? Maybe I need to stop and think before I eat it, or maybe I just need to have some of that. Maybe eating the whole thing wasn't the best idea. Like, I do find talking to myself helps. I mean, people will look at you strange at a restaurant, I know, or at the supermarket. Do I really need to get there? Or you're out getting fast food, and there's nothing wrong with fast food. There's nothing wrong with stopping in the drive-through line. If you're hungry, you should eat. Now, last week, I learned something about myself, that I need to stop and have lunch, because last week, 3 days, I did not. I should have packed lunch. Why I didn't, I still couldn't tell you that, because I didn't allow myself enough time. I should have packed lunch the night before. Because when I did, and you would think, well, I had a great breakfast, which I did. I had a very filling, satiating breakfast. I had oatmeal one day, I had eggs one day, and I was full. And I'm usually good. Now I eat breakfast around 8 o'clock. I'm usually good till about 1 o'clock. I get home from school around 1:15. That's when I look to eat. So I think that keeps me full almost 5 hours. I don't have a problem with that. But come that 5th hour, I need something. And I don't just need vegetables and dip. I need a carb. I need some kind of dairy. I need something, a protein. I need something in me that's going to stick to me. I can't eat vegetables and dip all the time. Sometimes I eat veggies and dip. Sometimes I eat an egg. I eat some lunch meat. I don't think there's anything wrong with lunch meat. Honestly, you can get a low-fat turkey, you can get a low-fat ham. Yes, there is sodium in it. I'm not gonna lie, there's sodium. I don't have issues with sodium, so I don't really worry too much about that. But you can get low-fat, low-sodium lunch meat. You could just cook up some chicken and turkey and have it there and just pull at it for a snack or a lunch or something like that. If you're worried about sodium, you can make your own little pieces of turkey and chicken. And I like dipping it in mustard and the this sugar-free barbecue sauce. That's what I like to do, and it's really been making my own dressings so I could have more of that with my eggs and my chicken. Dip it in it. Chicken and ranch dressing is delicious. Have a little bag of mini pretzels. Yes, they are now 2 points, which really depresses me. But when I lost weight, they were 1 point. So in my mind, I don't think they're a bad item. They might have gone up a point, but it was still a good option, and it's portion control. And I love having chips with my lunch. You see all the snack hauls I get. I like chips. I love a crunchy, salty snack. This is what I do. So I just feel like you need to take a step back and evaluate why you're doing this. Are you doing this to be a swimsuit model? Are you doing this for health? Are you doing this to play with your grandchildren? Are you doing this to sleep better? Are you doing this to feel better? You have to evaluate why you're doing it and realize that that scale is not the be all end all. It's hard. I'm not gonna lie. We work hard all week. We want that gratification on that scale, and the scale doesn't always give it to us. How do you bounce back from that? I get that question asked to me all the time. How did you? Because I know without a shadow of a doubt that I had the best week that I could, and I don't live in regrets. If I wanted it, I ate it, and I'm not going to feel guilty about it. I had a crazy amount of chocolate on Easter, and I knew it. Did I feel bad about it? No, I didn't, because that was a choice that I made. And I said to myself, when you want something, you have to own it. And I do. So that's a choice that I make, whether to go on like an allowable bender. Like, I mean, how many chocolate did I have? I mean, I had a lot. But I only had it on Easter. So that was a huge win that I didn't go the next day, because I allowed myself the freedom to have it. And don't treat this journey like you're on a diet and be so restrictive. Oh, I can't have that. I can't have that. If you figure your points out and figure things out, you can pretty much have whatever you want. Again, within reason of size. You might not be able to have a whole cup full of mac and cheese, but you can have a third of a cup of mac and cheese. Read the serving size on packages. Weigh and measure your food. Will you have to weigh and measure and track the rest of your life? If that's the case, and that's the littlest things I have to do to maintain my loss, I'm willing to do that. It's not that hard, because once you start to do it, you will do it in less than half a second. I mean, yeah, if you dry it, I'm like, oh, I have to measure this, give me the cup. Yeah, it's going to take longer. Instead of just grabbing the cup I automatically go for my measuring cup when there's rice. I automatically go for my measuring cup when there's pasta. I don't think twice. I scoop it and I put it on my plate. Half a second. I know what I'm eating. And when you have certain things like pastas and rices, you know what the points are. You know, because you have them enough to know. And remember, if you can't fit a whole cup of rice in, how about half a cup? You have to use your little wheel and scroll down for portions and stuff like that. You'll be surprised when you can fit in. Like I'm the queen of finding the 0 point amount of anything. Like I do 13 Lily's chips. Well, if you zap the Lily's, it'll tell you how much, like I think 2 points worth. Well, how much is 1 point? It's chili. I think it's 34 Lily's chips for 1 point. And you scroll down how many you can get for 0? 13. You're going to have 14 chips for 1 point. You're going to have 34 chips for 1 point. I'm going to have 34 chips. If I'm paying the point, I'm going to have 34 chips. Canadian bacon, you're going to have 4 slices, I think. Depends on the brand. All brands are different. Well, let's say 4 slices for 1 point. I could have 1 slice for 0 points. I fit that in all the time. In a breakfast sandwich, chopped up in a scramble. You'd be surprised when you finally chop up a piece of Canadian bacon, how far it goes. And I have 20 points for it. So utilize the wheel. Utilize how you can get a 0 point amount of something. Like same thing. Now pumpkin seeds are now 1 tablespoon for 0 points. Yes, please. It's in my oatmeal every day for 0 points. I put a tablespoon in. Teaspoon of hemp seeds. I'm not sure. I meant to check those, see if those had gone up. I'm not sure, but as I know it, teaspoon was 0, so that's what goes in my oatmeal. 13 Lily's chips in my oatmeal, because I could afford a 0 point amount of it. So it definitely takes some work. And I always try to tell you, I could give you all the answers. I absolutely can. But if you don't learn and do it yourself, you'll never grow. And once you figure these things out, you will just want to challenge yourself to do more. And then you'll see this weight just drop like it's hot. And you'll be like, wow, how did I do that? Because you took hold of your journey and you owned it and you accepted it and you worked on it. Like I said, I could hand you everything. I could hand you every recipe known to man and say, here you go, make this. But you know what? How can I make something? Like I love, pick something out. Like, well, this Christmas or last Christmas? I can't remember now. I think it's a blur. I like gingerbread. So how can I get me a gingerbread for the lowest amount of points? We take a recipe and you see what you could swap out. You obviously need molasses because it's gingerbread. So what's the lowest point molasses I can get? And you're only making, for me, it's about single serving size. Just easier that way. And how can I make it? And phenomenally, it's so good. It is on the website. How to make a single serve gingerbread. I think it's like 3 or 4 points. It's absolutely yummy, and I eat it, and I think to myself, I'm on Weight Watchers. Yeah, you see my food. I post it on my What I Eat in a Day on Tuesdays, so you can see. I had stuffed French toast last week. You just get yogurt, mix it with sugar-free pudding, and you put it between 2 slices of French toast. But just that little addition makes it seem so much more decadent than it truly is. And if yogurt is your 0 point food, and eggs are your 0 point food, you just had to count the bread. Because a teaspoon of sugar-free pudding mix is 0 points. So a lot of this is just how can I, and Weight Watchers doesn't share this. I always say Weight Watchers does not promote sugar-free and fat-free things. I don't eat everything sugar-free and fat-free. I don't like fat-free cheese. It looks like plastic. It's not something that I choose to eat. I definitely do low-fat cheese. There's nothing wrong with it. I do low-fat dairy. Actually, I did a thing on dairy, I believe last year, it was something about taking the fat out of dairy does not take any of the nutritional information out, but you also nutritional components out of it. You just have to watch that they don't insert like corn syrups and stuff like that, because some do, to make it palatable. Because let's face it, sugar-free and fat-free sucks. Some of it does. And how can we get it down? Sweeten it. It's always better with a little sugar-free corn syrup in there. I mean, high fructose corn syrup in there, that'll make it palatable. But so you're just, and honestly, even if you have a little bit of that, it's not gonna hurt. Like I said, if you have a nice mix of everything, it's never gonna really be that detrimental. There are people out there that won't have totally anything, and that's their choice. You have to make what your choice is important. For me, I just try to do a little bit of everything. I feel like nothing is off the table. I can have what I want in moderation. So that's how I do my plan. And you do your plan the way you see fit. So don't, I'm saying you have to feel what's best for you. If those things don't bother you, if high fructose corn syrup doesn't bother you, then have it. And if it does bother you, don't have it. Don't have something because somebody tells you, oh, I won't have that. You should have this. I won't, if you don't like skinny syrups, don't buy them because I use them. You find what's best for you and what works for you and what's good for your journey. But you have to figure that out. See, that's the thing that I can't do for you. I can't figure your journey for you. I could tell you what I do, what works for me, and encourage you along the way, but I can't do your journey for you. You have to do it. And that's a hard one because we want help. Some of us feel desperate. I know at one point before when I went in there at my highest, I remember going in there and I kept telling myself, I need to go. I was desperate. I was literally dying. And I told you, my sleep apnea doctor told me, if you didn't get help, you would have been dead in 6 months with this test study. That's so important to take care of yourself. And carrying a lot of weight here, I was having 99 episodes an hour of interrupted sleep. And it's an oxygen level that, when you take the little thing on your finger, they don't like it to go under 90, I think 3 or 4. Mine was down to 55. I was losing brain cells and I was getting forgetful. It was horrible. And whenever time I would visit him when I got my study, he'd be like, wow, you're down more weight, he goes, you know why? I said, yes. It's not the machine that helps you. It's the fact that you're sleeping and you're getting rest. And when you're well rested, you can attack your journey much more better than when you're exhausted and tired. I would sit down and I'd fall asleep every time I sat in the chair because I was not well rested at all. So again, if it wasn't for him and that machine, I really wouldn't be sitting here right now talking to you. And I wouldn't have been able to lose that 116 pounds because I wouldn't have felt good enough to do that. So it's amazing what some air does. You know, it's amazing what some air does. I'm telling you, I could just sit down there and never fall asleep anymore. But every time I sat in my chair, within seconds I would fall asleep because I was exhausted. 99 episodes an hour is only 60 minutes in an hour. If I'm having 99 episodes, I don't know when I actually wasn't sleeping at all. It's a wonder I didn't have a car accident, really. It's truly. But I am here for you today. I still am on my machine. My episodes went from 99 to last test I had was I think 28. And now it tells you how many episodes you have. So I very rarely have any during the night. But that was tested without the machine. So it is hereditary. So, but you know what? All the weight that was up here was hindering. I could lay flat. I couldn't lay flat. Between the sleep apnea and the reflux, I couldn't lay. I used to have 3 pillows. I used to lay propped up. I could legit sleep flat. All because I lost weight. You know, back in the day, I used to blame, you know, the doctors. Like, they blame everything on your weight. They look at that and they just know because, you know, I mean, I had at 270, all my blood work was always perfect. My cholesterol was always perfect. My good and my bad was always great within range. My blood sugars were always good. Just because you have good blood work doesn't mean you're necessarily healthy. I mean, so I was supposed to say, well, Mom, my blood work's good. They look at you and look at that and they think, you know, she has to lose weight. And I would mock them. But in reality, all I did was lose weight and there's no more reflux. My sleep apnea is like really improved. And my arthritis, I used to get back injections twice a year. I was on steroids and stuff like that, and anti-inflammatories. I take nothing. My back hardly ever hurts. The only time it hurts is if I really am doing a lot of yard work or I'm doing a lot of bending and stooping. But how do you go from that to nothing? Because you lost weight. All the weight that I was carrying in the front, pulling on my back, they were right. They were right and I was wrong. All I did was lose weight. You know, it wasn't my time. I had to do it when I was ready and when the right plan was available. So the blue plan was my ticket to success. So I do miss it dearly, and I do a modified version on personal points. So, you know, but I just wanted to come here and just say that the scale is just a number. So I'm going to hit the road. So if you enjoy these kind of videos, let me know in the comment section below. Give this video a thumbs up and hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. I upload several days a week and I am here to help you. So I will dish with you another day, my lovelies. There's a Facebook group, Dish with D's Crew. Come join us on Facebook. I will talk to you later, my friends.